Hello, my name is Max Winkelmann. This is a demo to convince you of the high quality of my radio work. The pieces you will hear were produced for Midweek, a live current affairs show produced by the Carleton School of Journalism. The roles I performed range from producer to audio editor to reporter and live host. I'm an expedient multi-track editor. To me, radio is the most enjoyable medium to work in, and I listen to radio every day. I hope you will enjoy these stories. What kind of changes would you like to see?
More transparency. And they need to allow cameras in the Senate so we know who's actually saying what.
Lots of people have ideas out at the moment. One of the ideas that I've heard, which would be an interesting one, would be if senators were appointed without political party affiliation. So they were all there to represent their regions, which was to go back to where we were before, originally when the Senate was set up.
Max Winkelmann is joining us in the studio now. So Max, can you give us an idea of how the Senate works?
Yeah, so the senators are appointed by the government general on advice of the current government, and the Senate makeup has changed quite a bit as well. For example, when the senators were first appointed in 1867 on this day, there were no representatives from Alberta or BC, for example, so in that way it's changed quite a bit. But Jonathan MacLeod, the chair of the political science department at Carleton, thinks the Senate still holds merit.
In terms of constitutionally, they're as important as ever because the Senate has to approve all legislation. The Senate does review legislation. I say it does delay it sometimes or amend it. So in that sense, it's as significant as it ever was.
So Max, if it's still constitutionally important, why are there so many questions about the Senate's relevancy?
Well, one of the things is that the Senate is appointed rather than elected, so some people are questioning whether it is democratic or not, or whether there's better ways to deal with it. But there's problems with an elected Senate as well. For example, if we look at the U.S., there's a...
Today is World Food Day. Midweek's Max Winkelmann was hungry to learn more about what's going on in Ottawa.
Can I buy some carrots from you?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
You can buy anything you would like.
All right, I'll have one of these.
Sure.
The Byward Market is bustling with fresh, locally grown food. But finding healthy food and food security is a problem for many people. Natasha Bode from the Ottawa Good Food Box is organizing an event for today's World Food Day.
World Food Day is a day set by the United Nations where we can mark all food issues in the world. So thinking worldwide where people are lacking food, but there's also lots of food issues right here at home in Canada that we can also think about on that day.
We only usually sell like what's the most popular, like your carrots, your potatoes, all the basic stuff.
First of all, in Ottawa, there's lots of people who aren't able to access healthy food at all. So that's one issue. And then sometimes if you're relying on food banks, you might be getting canned food. It might not be food that you're familiar with if you're a newcomer or from different cultural backgrounds. And I think we're aware that not everyone in Ottawa is having healthy food or as much as they would like to be eating.
The Good Food Box was created to help mitigate some of these problems by making fruits and vegetables more easily available across Ottawa.
So the Good Food Box, what we do is we buy top quality fruits and vegetables from local growers and wholesalers. We resell the fruits and vegetables.
Sinterklaas kapoentje, gooi wat in mijn schoentje, gooi wat in mijn laarsje, dank u Sinterklaasje.
You're probably wondering what you just listened to. I sure am. Tomorrow night is Sinterklaas, a primarily Dutch tradition that's recently been the source of some controversy. Midweek's Max Winkelmann has brought all kinds of Sinterklaas goodies into the studio. So tell me what we're looking at here, Max.
So first of all, here I have some kruidnoten. They're hard, small cookies, kind of just a bit bigger than a quarter. You can try some of those if you want. They're very typical Sinterklaas treats. And then I got some foamies here. They're kind of like candies. And they're in the shape of Sinterklaas or Zwarte Piet, if you want to try those. And then these are a bit harder. They're a bit bigger cookies too. They're called Tai. They're kind of hard to get through sometimes. They're also in the shape of Sinterklaas and Sinterklaas related things. And then, of course, I got some chocolate letters here, which is like letters that you put in someone's shoe or something like that. And they're all associated with Sinterklaas, much as candy canes are associated with Santa Claus, only all of this stuff is a lot tastier than candy canes are, really.
So, in what other ways is Sinterklaas similar to Santa other than bringing candy?
Well, much like Santa Claus, he brings presents down the chimneys. He's got helpers. He is dressed in red with a great white beard. And I also spoke to Ingrid van Klooster, who was born in Canada but now lives in the Netherlands. She was not raised on Sinterklaas. However, she celebrates it now, and it's clear that parents deal with some of the same problems as kids grow older.
This is the first year that my youngest doesn't believe anymore, so that makes it a little bit different. But up until now, there's always been somebody believing in the house. I have 3 daughters, and we do as much of the tradition as we can.
So how do Sinterklaas and Santa differentiate from each other?
Well, as opposed to a reindeer and a sled, he rides on a big white horse, and the horse has a name much like the reindeer do. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you soon to discuss what great radio stories I can produce for you. Once again, I'm Max Winkelman.